我是 Jessie 周。那今天呢是11月5号，我应耳湾公司的邀请呢，一起在星期六早晨9点钟的时候呢，在我们的 Jeffrey Trail 做一个 tour。然后呢，我们一路上又可以运动，又可以了解一下耳湾发展的历史。大家有兴趣跟我一起来看一下。
Celebrating Irvine's 50th anniversary this year, and for anyone I haven't met yet, my name is Peggy, and as the Community Relations Manager for Irvine Company, I'm really excited to be able to share the history of the Irvine Master Plan with all of you. That master plan has helped Irvine become named California's #1 ranked park system, which includes this very unique linear park. And today, our very special guide is Mr. Richard Roy here. Richard is an award-winning landscape architect, and if you live in North Irvine, chances are he has helped design the beautiful parks and landscaping in the village that you live in. So Richard was also one of the primary designers of this Jeffrey Open Space Trail.
哇，这个就是 Jeffrey Trail 的原设计师，所以说呢，当时是他 design 的这个 trail， 可以听一下这个历史，还蛮有意思。
And the Jost, as we like to call it, is just one of over 200 parks that he's helped design throughout.
设计了200多公园。
So we are very fortunate to have him here today. So please help me welcome Richard.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, it's nice to see everyone here this morning. Every time I talk about any part of Irvine, I always feel obligated to circle back to the master plan. But this morning, I thought I would go back a little further to more of the history of the ranch. So, the Irvine Ranch is 125,000 acres. To kind of put that into perspective, if you drive the 91 freeway to Corona, where the Green River Golf Course is, that is the eastern boundary of the ranch. The western boundary is the Pacific Ocean. The north boundary is all the way to the Sagerstom Center. It wraps around and punctuates parts of Costa Mesa, Tustin, and the whole southern boundary of Orange as well. To the south, the Irvine Ranch goes all the way to the city of Irvine. It includes all of Laguna Canyon and goes all the way to what today is kind of Big Parkway. It became, the Marines' helicopter base at that time. So they already had significant influences impacting the ranch. And so they really decided very proactively to create a master plan. So they hired William Pereira Associates from Los Angeles. This was a nationally known architectural and planning firm to create a cohesive plan, not only a living plan, not only kind of determining how the ranch should be organized at that time, but creating design principles going forward. So that's really the foundation. So for those portions of the ranch that the master plan deemed appropriate for residential development, there was the creation of some design principles, which I think you're all aware of. And one of those was to create villages, distinct villages to themselves. So the uniqueness of each village was to be determined by its topography, by the surrounding land uses, by the retention of historical significant things. But beyond that, so each village was to be comprised of individual neighborhoods, but each neighborhood to be tied together with a series of parks and schools and with association with retail development. And then beyond each village, the idea was to tie all of the villages together, not just with a street network, vehicular network of systems, but to tie everything together with a series of parks and open spaces with their trails. And so at the end of the day, what you see in Irvine and what you're going to see developed continuing in Irvine is that everything is tied together, not only by its network of streets and of various categories, but by this series of open spaces and parks and with trails. And so that conception, it also had a bigger goal. The bigger goal was to see if the open spaces to the east of us could be tied to the coast. And so as designers, we term that the mountains to the sea concept. Where we're standing today, the Jeffrey Open Space Trail, it's probably, I think, the most significant realization of that idea. It's very important for a number of reasons. First of all, it's 100 acres of continuous open space tied together. It's not just a lineal strip or a paseo that people might define it. It's as wide as 425 feet north of Encore. It's only restricted in one place north of Tribuco to 50 feet because there's a regional water quality or stormwater control basin there. The ranch sold Valencia oranges under any number of labels and any number of crates. We found what we thought were probably 14 of the most romantic kinds of orange crate labels, and we reproduced these in ceramic tile. And then beyond that, you'll see embossed on the table here just a little visual characterization of the harvesting and the transportation and the packing and then the loading of the oranges onto the Ventus spur, which I'll talk about in a little bit. That was a dedicated railroad line that came into the ranch for the sole purpose of picking up produce, taking it for distribution.
今天早晨天还蛮好的，对，这个时间那个拍摄挺好的。然后他们是毕业了吧？然后在这边是拍毕业照。Yeah, congratulations.
Brandon University, it's associated with Chapman.
Oh, okay. Great, congratulations. 这些同学们和学长们在这边拍那个毕业照。
I'm going to throw a sidebar in here.
Yeah.
So as a complete sidebar, every public space in the city of Irvine, including private golf courses, any cemeteries, homeowner association landscapes, it's all irrigated with reclaimed water. So the Irvine Ranch Water District is probably the most significant reclaimed water purveyor in the entire country. It's significant.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, that could very well be a story.
I think we have featured it recently.
Yeah.
So if you've seen the purple pipes, if you ever see a purple pipe being worked on, that's the reclaimed water. That's how you know that it's recycled water.
The purple.
It's a purple pipe.
Yeah, purple pipe.
Yeah,
对，绿
they're
色
like
环保。
a lavenderish.
是。
It's not quite filtered to the Shady Canyon Golf Course discovered that it's not quite filtered to the point that it's slightly detrimental to certain ornamental grasses. And it could be filtered a little further, but it's completely safe in terms of human contact. It can be sprayed. It's not, but it could be sprayed onto surfaces that you eat on, off of, for instance, picnic tables. It's filtered to the point of that level of safety.
作为尔湾的居民，我在这边还没有怎么来过。今天有设计大师给我们亲自讲述他当时的一些设计理念。
When we designed Joss, there was the idea maybe we should save it and try to make it a public, accessible building. It wasn't in good enough condition to do that, so what we did, we salvaged key columns with posts, and this kind of traces the first, the ground level outline of where the packing plant was. This berm kind of screens it, but across Jeffrey to the north, that's where the railroad spur, it was called the Ventus spur, came into the Irvine Ranch and picked up all the produce here, especially the early on it was a variety of agricultural products, but then it was primarily the Valencia orange crop, and at one point it was also the Hass avocados, which the ranch still farms to the east of us here. I'll talk a little bit about the design inspiration for the Jeffrey Open Space Trail. It's really the most basic inspiration was Central Park in Manhattan. It was designed by Frederick Law Olmsted and Calvert Vaux. Frederick Law Olmsted is considered to be the father of American landscape architecture. He not only designed and administrated the construction for nearly 20 years of Central Park, he did the master plan for Stanford. He designed what's termed the Emerald Necklace. It's that linkage of open spaces and parks and paseos and public campuses that surrounds the city of Boston. He also did the master plan for the Chicago World's Fair, termed the White City. And so the design principles of Central Park are an undulating landform. So you see the creation of berms here to screen off of Jeffrey, with the exception of where, for security reasons, the berm drops down so the police can survey the restrooms. The whole landscape concept, in terms, just boiling it down to the simplest of terms, it's a woodsy landscape character. It's very naturalistic. However, it's very purposeful. So where you see the annual stream and for runoff purposes, the landscape is all deciduous and to help reinforce and characterize that. As you move up onto the berm areas, the landscape becomes more of a Mediterranean character, the pines, the eucalyptus, the pepper trees. As the Jeffrey Open Space Trail moves towards the east, towards the land, the landscape becomes more native. So you start to introduce a variety of oak trees and other native plant materials that will eventually characterize the culmination of the Jeffrey Open Space Trail. When you get into the next segment, the story is told in ceramic tile. When you go further to the west, the city building story is told in stainless steel. And we haven't determined how we're going to tell the story in the final phase of the Jeffrey Open Space Trail. This is another example of the presentation of... So there are several of these kind of stopping points along the way, but and this is actually held up better. So this embossment of these concrete panels, each one telling a little bit of the story of the significant things that happened in the ranch era. This is an example of the unique stone that was selected for all of the Jeffrey Open Space, as well as this cap. So these construction elements are unique to where we are.
Is there a section missing?
What?
Is there a section missing?
No, that was purposeful.
哦，所以这是他们故意留下这样的空缺。
There used to be litter receptacles here. There's a reason for that being blank. So I think we're going to continue on up. Just going to introduce you to just a little bit of the next segment. The stone cap. So there's a sense of strong identification associated with Jeffrey Open Space Trail. Also, if you've noticed, the bus stops along Jeffrey are uniquely designed to be a part of the Jeffrey experience. The other thing that isn't so obvious, the selection of trees and so forth in the median island in Jeffrey and on the other side, it's all meant to be part of the same landscape idea, so that when you drive Jeffrey, you feel like you're not driving by something, but you're driving through an experience.